Welcome to I Found a Weird Show. I'm Laura,
I'm Beans.
And I'm Lauren.
and we are continuing our recap of season 3 of the TV show From. And today we have episode 2, When We Go, one of the saddest episodes in the entire series. Because the end of the last episode, Tien Chen and Boyd were locked in the barn, and they were gonna torture her to make him basically to torture Boyd. So Tien
break
Chen is
him.
dead. Yeah, to break him. Boyd, why are you screaming into the universe that you can't be broken? Of course you can be broken. What's wrong with you?
Also, I don't know about you guys, but when I get emotionally attached to characters, even sometimes when I don't, I find that the death itself is not usually what gets me, but it's how people react to it and like the mourning process that gets me.
Yeah. Oh, and especially with such good with actors that we've got here.
Yes.
I mean, Kenny was amazing this episode and devastating.
Just thank you for not having me do this recap because I don't know that I could have watched this twice.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was bad. Oh no. So like I do this fun thing. I don't know if everybody does this, but like when you're like about to cry and you like start to get a little sad and you like know the tears are coming, like you get this little nose burn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, immediately as soon as I started the episode, I was like, "Oh, here's the nose burn. The tears are going to come."
Also, yes, I can fully relate to that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm sorry to do this to you. You know what? This episode's canceled. It was sad. Let's move on. No.
Yeah, episode 2
Thanks for
happens.
coming.
People reacted. Nothing else happened. Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. No. So, no, I will put you guys through this torture. We start this episode with Jade and Victor and a bunch of goats and sheep in the bar. It's light outside, and Jade gets up to leave. Victor tells him not to go, but Jade says that someone has to go and see. And he opens the barn to find Tian Chen's body and Boyd chanting in Cantonese. And Jade unlocks the handcuffs on Boyd, and as soon as he's free, Boyd crawls over to Tian Chen's body. He holds her and he just keeps saying, "I'm so sorry." Like, yeah, that night must have been awful. Just devastating.
Yes. Still partially his fault.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
can't. I feel bad for him, yes, but also part of me is like, fuck you, Boyd.
Just that, but like that immediate, like, because he has been like basically struggling there the whole night of just wanting to help her. And as soon as he was free, he just crawls over to her
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
grabs her. Oh, nope, sad. Okay, and this is what you're in for this episode.
It does
Uh,
not get happier.
no. So out in the forest, Kenny is still sleeping in the cabin. And when he wakes up, he wakes up to Jim yelling for him. And he goes out, and Jim found fresh vegetables growing around the lake.
I just want to say when he wakes up and realizes that Jim is like outside, he like looks around and seems like so annoyed, like, what the hell? Like, you left without me?
Right? Yeah, damn it, Jim.
The plan was to go together back to town. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, Jim
mean,
seems the type to
in
wander.
in fairness, the vegetables were not very far. Like
No.
Kenny took like 5 steps out the front door and was like, "Oh my god, vegetables!"
Yeah,
A
Jim
little bit
probably
in
just
defense of Jim.
Yeah, he probably just had to go pee or something. And then he was like, "Oh, there's vegetables."
Do you guys think that this is Demonland's way of trying to shepherd them out of the town and into like the next phase of whatever place this is?
Ooh,
I don't know. Maybe. I also think that like Demonland is a weird place, right? Because it gives it there's a whole lot of bad, but then there's like these good moments. So this might be something that, yes, they poisoned this section of it, but over here, maybe because of the effigies, we're a little safer.
Yeah, those
ooh.
effigies just scream evil to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like scarecrows for monsters.
Oh man,
Uh,
I can't wait until you get some like really close up looks at these effigies. They're real
Look,
creepy.
I've had enough because I've been playing Silent Hill. I've had enough scarecrows right now. I don't need more moving scarecrows.
They don't they're just standing there still. They're fine till
Okay.
they're not.
What?
Cool. What do
No,
you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Laura?
I don't know. I'm
No,
just
no, you
saying
know.
That
things at
was
this
sus.
point. Well, we still have the theory that we don't know what was knocking on that cabin at night. Could have been those guys. But luckily, hey, when they woke up, they weren't surrounded by them, so that's a
That's
good
true.
sign, right?
That is true.
So, this is great. This is great news. A cure for the food shortage. Que sera, sera. So,
Everything's happy now.
yeah, it's fine. Kenny's not gonna be emotionally devastated for the rest of his life because just trauma. Um,
Also, when he like, I can't remember if it was like, is it later in the episode where he talks about Julie and Ethan being orphans, or was that in the
yeah, it was
episode
later.
before? Okay, never
Oh,
mind. I'll
Or
bring it up when
well,
that comes up.
I thought it was before they went back to town.
actually, might have been.
But it's interesting. Well, I guess I'll just bring it up since
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
already up now. He made the comment that he wasn't gonna let Jim go alone because he couldn't bear to leave Julie and Ethan orphans here while he was currently in the process of being orphaned.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that
definitely
was the
before he went back because I
yeah.
remember being like, "Oh, he's talking about it while being orphaned."
Yep. Yep, that was the end of last episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very upsetting.
Oh, poor Kenny.
How could they do
So,
this to us and Kenny?
at least in here there are some nice cuts of the real world stuff happening to make us less sad, maybe. Uh, so back in the real world, and that's just what I'm gonna call it, that it's the real world versus
Yeah,
Demon Land.
what else would you call it? That's what I've been
Yeah.
calling it.
So Tabitha is sleeping on the couch, and Henry, Victor's dad, is sitting in a chair next to her holding a gun. So that's good.
His family likes their pew pews.
They do. Tabitha wakes up, asking like what happened, sees the gun, it scares her. Henry's like, it's okay. You passed out on the front porch. And she's like, I'm just gonna go. And he's like, no, you're gonna sit down. And he's like, you showed up here with Victor's lunchbox, so you're gonna tell me how you found it. And Tabitha starts, I mean, fair.
Mhm.
I, like his kid's been gone for 40 years ish. Like,
Mhm.
nope, you're not walking into my life and not giving me answers. So Tabitha starts telling him her story, the road trip, the tree, the town, and Henry gets impatient. He's like, "Yeah, okay. But where did you get the lunchbox?" And she tells him, "Well, that Victor gave it to me." And he's like, "I didn't know." He doesn't believe her. And she tells him, "No, no, Victor is alive." And Henry's like, "You know what? Fine. If you won't talk to me, you can talk to the police." She's like, please don't call the police." Because I sound crazy. I know I sound crazy, and they're not gonna believe anything I say. And he tells her, "Well, I already called them when you were passed out," and then she's like, "I can prove I'm not lying." So we go back to Demon Land, and Sarah shows up at the clinic, and Christy sees her and tells it, like, "You are not allowed here. Nope, go away." And Sarah says, "Tian Chen's dead." And she tells her, the animals got out and that something happened, but she wasn't sure if anyone had told Christy yet, and she knew that Christy would want to know. And she says, "I'm sorry," and then she leaves. And Mary comes in and asks what's going on, and Christy breaks the news to her. So it's just a lot of like, which I think that was really sweet of Sarah because she knows what Christy thinks of her.
Yeah.
So um, I mean, so far season 3 redemption arc, Sarah, because she saved
Yes.
Julie and Ethan, and now she's like, I'm going to go into a place that I know people literally hate me because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Because she knows that not only does Christy care about Tien Chen, so she'll want to know, but she knows that Christy's going to be needed to talk to Kenny
Yeah,
whenever. Like, they don't know he's coming back today, but just whenever he comes back, Christy needs to be involved.
yeah. So Boyd and Jade get Tian Chen's body in the wheelbarrow and take her to the church. There are a lot of people in the street watching, including Victor, and the snow is really starting to fall now. And you can tell Boyd is really struggling emotionally, but trying to stay strong. Boyd tells Jade, they need to make sure she gets buried next to her husband. She would have wanted that. And Jade stops Boyd and says, "You were in the barn with those things. How are you still alive?" And Boyd tells him, They wanted him to watch. And, the monsters are really just learning new ways to torture the people here. And, the other thing that, like, Boyd has, like, this full-on trauma response that's happening where, like, people are saying things and he's just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And it's like, "Oh, man, you are just not okay right now." And, I mean, understandably, but it's just like, wow, okay. That's he's not
Yeah.
processed yet anything.
How do you even process that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is I mean, we give Boyd a lot of shit, and we're still mad at him for going out and getting those cows, but still, he didn't deserve all this.
No. I'm still mad at Boyd. But no, I agree. This is a lot.
So,
Yeah.
and then we get to start seeing that because Boyd leaves, and we see some flashbacks of the night before as he walks down the street, the monster's torturing Tien Chen, and Boyd being unable to help her, and Donna comes. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wanna say that before we started watching this episode, our friend Corvée was in the voice chat with us, gonna watch it with us, and she asked me, like, if I thought it was better that we didn't see what happened, or would it have been worse to see it? And I was like, I don't even know. Both are horrible options because you've got the imagination factor of not seeing it or the actual seeing it factor, but I was like, I'm real glad we didn't see it because I don't wanna see that. She knew. She knew it was coming, and she set me up with that question.
Corvey's mean like that.
She is so mean.
Yeah, no, so it was rough too. I mean, like they didn't show us everything, but they did show us like cutting into her leg and cutting into her arm, and it was bad. I'm glad that that's all they showed,
Mhm.
cuz like I don't need more than that.
Yeah, because like, we know seeing her body, there's a lot more damage done, like, something to her neck or her, like, jaw, like, fully dislocating it. I'm like, I'm so glad we didn't see that.
Yeah, and they ripped all her
Yeah, they did
chest
that too.
cavity stuff out, and
Ugh.
yeah, thank you, show. I don't need to. The aftermath's good enough for me. Um, but Donna comes running up to Boyd, and she asks like if it's true, and they head off towards the sheriff's station. So back in Tien Chen's house, that's no longer Tien Chen's house. Julie, I know, Julie is comforting Ethan, and this part, that boy can't deal with more trauma either. Um,
Well,
he
that's his, like,
wants.
surrogate grandma.
Well, yeah. No. Like, oh, man. No, so he wants to go see her, and he asks, like, can Christy fix her? And, that they need to bring her blanket so that she's more comfortable. And Julie is, like, breaking down, but keeping it together for Ethan. So Victor comes in, and Ethan tries to get him to get Julie to, let them go see Tien Chen. And Julie's like, I could use some help here. And Victor's just like, "I gotta go." And Julie is like, "What?" And E Ethan, he's like, "Well, where are you going?" And Victor says, like, "I can't stay here anymore." And Ethan pleads with him again that they have to help her, but Victor, he tells him, like, "They can't. She's dead. Like, we can't help her. People die here. I told you that it's not make believe. I told you that bad things happen here. It's not my fault you didn't listen." Oh,
Yeah.
so
But a little bit of, like, ease on Victor here is he has about, again, the mental capacity that Ethan does. So even it was all honestly unfair of Julie, and I get it, like, this isn't her thing, this isn't her kid, and it's fucked up that she's the only one there with him right now, but it's
yeah.
almost unfair of her to ask that of him. I could use a little bit of help. What do you want eight-year-old trapped in a 40-year-old man to do?
Well, and the difference between those 2, though, is that they're about on the same level because that's when his social skills kind of stop
Mhm.
developing, but he's been through so much more death.
Well, and what he's saying is not wrong.
Mm-mm,
People
it's
die
not.
here, and he's told Ethan this, and, like, obviously not, like, the best way of saying it, but, like, Ethan does kinda need to understand, and he's been getting a little taste of this over the last few episodes, but, like, he does need to understand that it's not just some fun quest. There is going to be bad things happening, and I think this is, like, the first death that's someone that I think that,
Close to
like,
home
is,
to
like, a
him, yeah.
big person in his
Yeah.
community, right? Like, everyone else has been like, "Oh, the people at Colony House," or that
Tom.
guy Frank or Tom, like, Frank and Tom, yeah. Like, no one that he has built a connection with yet, and so this is the first one, so it's going to hit hard, but Victor's like, "Yeah, this happens a lot here. You need to get used to it, or you're not gonna be okay," because Victor's not okay either.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. He's not wrong. But man, it was tough. I didn't want to hear it either. I'm Ethan, like, don't tell me these things. And I'm a
I'm still in
grown ass
denial that
adult.
she's dead. Like, she's still alive, it's fine.
Yeah.
Christy can fix her.
Right. Oh.
I realize now that, I resonate with Victor just a little bit too much in that type of stress scenario. Even as a somewhat well-adapted adult, probably would have said something similar. Like, you can't help her. Although I think being a mom might have softened it a little. Maybe not as blunt.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it was very blunt. But you're right that Ethan did kind of need to hear this. But both Ethan and Julie are devastated. And Julie, like, comforts him, but you could just those faces, man.
Mm.
Just
Amazing facial acting.
yeah, I love the actors in this. I was reading one of the comments from something, and people like to dog on Ethan. We love him here. We love him here at I found a weird show.
He's so good. Like his vocal, like his emotional vocal acting. Like that one episode when he was running up, he was like, I can't remember even what he yelled, but it was so compelling. It was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this kid's in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and it's good stuff. But just him. Everybody's going through it. I mean,
Hmm.
I think Lauren was talking about it, but like the monsters could not have gotten any luckier to have gotten that person to get
Yes.
Tien Chen because it pulls at everyone.
Yes. Not only is she someone who's a productive part of this community, like handling all the food and like everything with the diner, like keeping all the stuff in storage in there. Like she does a lot for the town, but like she's also that maternal figure to just about everybody. So
Hmm.
killing her is not just oh, we're gonna like throw a wrench in their operations. It's also like, oh, hell yeah, we've hit their motivation. Like this is a huge blow.
We've hit their hope.
Yes.
So back in the real world, Tabitha is showing Henry news articles on the computer of like they're missing. And she tells him, like, look up other people too. Boyd, Donna, the Lou family. And he's like, you're lying. I don't know how, you're faking the articles, but you're lying. And Tabitha keeps trying to convince, him that the others are trapped. And he asks her, well, then how'd you get here? And, how is she the one person who managed to escape this terrifying place? And she tells him, like, I don't understand it either, but I did. And Victor helped me. And, she starts telling him about Victor, like he's a good man, nice and sweet, and my son loves him, and he saved my daughter's life. She thought if she saved the children in the tower, then somehow she could save her daughter from what was happening to her. And Henry pauses and wants more details because he's like, wait a minute, something in there registered with him. And Tabitha says she started seeing children in the town. Victor said they were the children locked in the tower, and if she saved them, she might be able to save her daughter. And then there's a knock at the door, and it's the police. And Henry goes and answers the door and tells him, like, oh, it was a false alarm. You guys can leave. I thought there was an intruder. It was a dog. We're fine here. So sorry. And he comes back and he puts the gun down on the counter and he tells her he bought it about 40 years ago, a few years after his family disappeared, but he never even loaded it. And he tells her, I'm going to make you something to eat. So clearly, he knows some stuff.
Well, clearly that tower comment and the kids locked in the tower comment just like triggered something in him because that he wants to keep around to hear more. But also I gotta say, when she first got to this house and he came up looking not so great, carrying his beer. I was like, oh, did Victor like, obviously this could have all just been a response to his family going missing, but also, was this guy just like a deadbeat? Is that why he wasn't with them? I was like, is he just going to be like a bad guy and Tabby's now going to be in a bad situation going to him for help? But no, I think this is like what we've seen so far, and then even some stuff after this. Like, I think he's just a guy who was a good dad who lost his family and has never recovered.
Yeah, I agree. I think we found one of the few good dads to his own children
They
in
had
the
to take
Well,
away
yeah,
his
series.
he's
kids
not in
because he
Demon
was
Land.
too good of a dad to his kids.
Right, yeah, you can't come with. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, you wouldn't fit in this town.
You're gonna have to just stay back. Well, and
I was
Deadbeat dads.
going to
mm,
make a funny comment, that, the real reason Victor's mom needed to die was probably because she was a good mom.
Oh, no.
yeah,
And that's why
no,
Tabby was the only one to escape because she was also a good mom.
She was also a good mom. Yeah. That's it. We cracked the code. You just gotta suck to get locked in Demon Land, and the moment you
Oh, and
stop
that's why Tian
sucking.
Chen got killed.
Yeah.
Shit.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Tian Chen was
Good
a good
moms.
mom.
Good moms.
Watch
They
out,
get
Donna,
out.
because we know you're in your grandma era.
Oh,
Right?
no.
Oh, so back in town with Boyd and Donna, Boyd is telling her what happened, the ambush, the animals. Donna asks him, well, how many animals did you save? Was it worth it? Risking everyone for an extra goat or cow? How much better off are we today than we were yesterday? And like, I get Donna's point because it's Lauren's point too. She's mad. But like, is now the time? Like,
But, like, when is the time?
there's no good time.
He's already feeling like shit. Might as well get it out now, and then once things are over, it's over.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Let's do all the trauma in one fell
Exactly.
swoop. I
You don't
get
wanna,
it,
like, get
man.
through this and be like, "Okay, now that you're feeling good, let me tell you what a piece of shit you are."
That's true. I'm a big fan of like, oh, I'm having an awful week. Let's throw more on the pile. Cause why ruin a good week?
Exactly.
So I get it. But Boyd gets angry with her, which is an understandable response.
Right.
And yeah, and you are you saying that I had a choice? The animals are all we have. And Don, I know. Lauren's like,
Wanna rethink that, buddy?
I'm Donna right now, is Lauren.
Yes.
Mhm.
And because Donna's right, Donna yells at him, no, we are all we have. These people, this family, this is all we've got, and now we've got one less. And Boyd asks, what was I supposed to do? Stand there and watch our only resource go wandering off? We would have starved. And Donna yells that, we would have found another way. Boyd tells her just yesterday she was ready to crawl into a fucking hole because of the crops, the crops had spoiled, but now she's telling him they would have found another way. Yeah, that he should have just get the fuck out of here.
A little bit of meta knowledge here, but Donna would have been right.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. That's
And the
the shit
animals
part of them
came
finding
from
them.
the forest. Where
Right.
where were the animals really go? Animals don't typically stray away from an easy food source, and clearly the town was deemed an easy food source. Uh, they weren't walking very far. That cow was not in a hurry. The sheep
Yeah, just
were,
ask
Yeah.
Jade.
but that
Those cows
cow
were not
wasn't.
moving fast enough.
Yeah, poor Jade.
No, I completely agree with both of you that it was the wrong choice. And but we all make choices in the moment. So
That's why I'm
I
bad at
I
games like Until Dawn.
yeah, no, understandably, because I am also bad at those games. Um,
I don't play them because it's too much pressure.
so Donna tells him, no, you're right. You did what you had to do. The only thing he could do, and he lost because the game here is fucking rigged. No matter what hand you play, you lose. She tells him, like, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at myself because you told us, someday we were going home, and I believed it. And he tries to like Donna, and she like, nope. Uh, and she says, I'm gonna go dress this cow before it spoils, and heads out.
And I think at one point earlier on in her rant, not rant, in her frustration at Boyd, she does ask him like, "Was it worth it? Do you think it was worth it?" And that hurt a little bit 'cause it's like, "Oh, Tian Chen, like, what is her
Yeah.
life compared to the animals?"
Right. Right. But like also Boyd didn't ask anybody else to come out with him. Now, he fucked Jade over, but he didn't
Yeah.
ask
Yeah, I did.
anybody else to come out with him. So you can't put it all on him.
No, but
He
also
did I will say, he did say, "Go inside, Tianjin." He
Yeah.
did tell her to go inside multiple times. So, I'm still mad
but
at you.
but also he knows these people.
Yep.
There's no way that they would have stood inside and watched him do this all by himself.
No, he should have never gone out there, but hindsight is 2020,
Mhm.
and we know Boyd is a bad decision maker.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think Boyd is super focused on a few things. One of them getting home, the other one, these people in the way of like making sure their needs are met, like making sure they have food, making sure they have a shelter over their heads. Like those are such his focuses, which makes sense for his character. But
He's very
still,
impulsive though.
he is.
If he thinks something needs to be done in order to get one of his like overarching goals, he just does like split second decisions without thinking about the other implications.
Yeah. So at Colony House, Fatima is sick again. And Ellis is outside the door knocking to check on her. He wants them to go see Christy. And Fatima doesn't want to. She's fine. And Ellis keeps pushing that she should go get checked out. And she heads over to the sink and a tooth comes out. And she comes
Totally
out.
normal during pregnancies, okay? Totally normal.
Yeah.
I
So,
have no idea.
weirdly it
It's
is.
probably not normal. Wait, really?
It yeah. I mean,
I was
not
going to
like
say,
normal, like every pregnant lady has it, but it's 100% a possibility.
huh. Things I didn't know for a
Just another
100.
form of birth control right there.
Yeah, you know all those
So
dreams that
she,
you had when your teeth fell out? Oh, there it is.
no,
Eh,
those are about money, not babies. Um, but yeah, no, no, no. That's, yeah, I did not know that. But
For
she
the
comes
reasons
out
that
and,
are stated later, it is common.
mm, well, and that makes sense. I mean, like,
yeah.
so malnourished is kind of one of the things that's happening to her because we've seen her just, she can't keep anything down. So that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, but she comes out and but I do also want to say, I think it was Lauren who was like, that tooth is too big for her face.
No, I said that tooth is too clean. It
It's
just,
too
like,
I
came
clean.
said it
out
was too big.
perfectly, the full root. Yeah.
Yeah. We have an issue with the art department here. But she comes out
Props, get on it.
and shows and she shows Ellis and she's like, "You know what? Maybe you're right. We should go see Christy." And they get to the clinic and Christy isn't there because of what's happening in town. But Mary is there. But Ellis would rather they see Christy because she's a doctor. No, she's a third-year medical student, but still. Mary reassures him that, hey, I'm a pediatric nurse. My mom was a pediatric nurse, so we call him peds nurse in my house. And her job is like babies and moms. Like, I got this, actually.
Realistically, between the 2, between Christy and Mary, Mary is the more qualified one for anything.
Oh, I would take a peds nurse any day. Man, no,
Hell yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, granted, my mom was one of those, so I'm like, I trust those people.
Yeah, and I would especially say that for a pregnant woman.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's so specialized. So back in town, Boyd is standing out by the pool. Christy comes up and says, it's a bit cold for a swim. And she asks what he's doing out here. And he talks about that truck that's flipped into the pool. And he says, I can't remember
I don't even know whose truck this
who that
is.
was. Yeah. Yeah, whose was that? We've just lost so many people. And Christy's like, "Oh, that was Danny and his girlfriend Shay." Boyd's like, "Oh, yeah, they were good kids." And Christy tells him, "What happened last night isn't your fault." And he tells her, "I'm not here for a pep talk." And she tells him, like, "I don't really give a shit." After Sarah and Ethan, he told her that it wasn't her fault, that it was this place, and she had saved a lot of lives and would save a lot more. Was that all bullshit or did he mean it? This isn't his fault. He's struggling a lot with this. I mean, as you would. And then they hear some yelling from the street. It's Jim and Kenny. They're yelling.
Uh,
I know.
no.
They're yelling that they found food. Yay, food.
Big smiles.
Yeah. Boyd and Kenny, or Boyd and Christy start heading over, and Kenny doesn't notice. He's like still like, there's so much food there, you know. He doesn't notice that something's off, but Jim does. And Jim immediately, as soon as Boyd gets there, he's like, "Are my kids okay?" And Boyd tells him, "Yep, they're fine." And then Kenny's like, "Whose blood is that?" To Boyd with the blood covering his
Mm.
whole shirt. And he's like, "Where's my mom?" And I'm gonna tell you that I'm not gonna do this scene justice, with a play-by-play, so there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Boyd and Christy both try to talk to Kenny, but he just keeps calling out to his mom and keeps telling them to stop, and then Kenny walks off and Christy follows him.
Also, like, what really annoyed me is no one was like, "Let me tell you what happened." They were just kinda like, "Oh, I don't no," like, everyone was just kind of, like, trying to avoid talking about it. Like, I would have preferred you just come out and tell me your mom died. Something
Yeah.
happened. But they were just trying to, like, go in typical From fashion, the longest way to get to the point.
Right, like, Boyd, like, "Well, maybe we should go talk over here." No, just fucking tell him.
Like, everybody there except for him and Jim know. Just
Yeah.
tell them.
So Clara is in the diner, leaving some flowers when Kenny comes in. She apologizes and leaves, and then Christy comes in and Kenny tells her I'm okay. You know, he asks where his mom is and he says that he just needs to sit at the diner for a minute. Christy says okay, and she goes and sits in a booth. Back at the clinic, Mary's checking out Fatima. She hasn't eaten in like 3 or 4 days and cannot keep anything down. Uh, Ellis is still freaking out about it, not being Christy. He's like, "Hey, how have you been doing?" And she asks, "Well, since the withdrawals or since this place fucked with her head?" And
Valid.
yeah, we're like, fair. And she tells him, look, you're doing what every first time dad does. You're scared and you're asking every question you can think of. Fatima and she tells them that Fatima is severely malnourished and she also has she used a medical term, but she has really bad morning sickness. They need to get her eating again. Everything is fine with the baby as far as she can tell, and Mary's going to try to get her something to help her eat again. And Ellis goes to sit with Fatima and he tells her, "See, I told you everything's fine."
Woo.
And Fatima gives him some shit. She's like, "Oh, was that you? I must have missed that." They're very cute. I like
I
them
do
now.
love their
Yeah,
relationship.
right. I
They've
agree.
grown on me.
Yeah, yes. Back at the diner, Kenny tells Christy, that whenever things got bad here, Tian Chen used to say, no matter how bad it gets, they will never have this day again. And he asks her if she suffered and if Christy has seen her. And then, whenever he thinks of his dad, all he can see is him lying on the basement floor. He doesn't want it to be like that with his mom. And he asks Christy for a favor. He wants her to make Tian Chen look like herself. Make her look nice. She would be really upset if she didn't look like her. And Christy says she will, and she heads over to the church. And this fucking demon land. The jukebox comes on and starts playing Celebration.
Oh, assholes.
Like, what a fuck you to Kenny. He has had enough, man. So he tries to get it to stop. He unplugs it. It's still playing. He hits it. He finally grabs something and smashes it before leaving the diner. Like,
That
nope.
was my reaction. I was like, "Smash it! Smash it!"
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I would. I think everybody I would smash every single one of those. Don't play with me. Today's not the day, clearly. I mean, we've all been ready. Kenny can have a villain arc at any moment he wants to.
Mhm.
He earned it. He d-
Yep.
he's had so many villain origin stories already. Like,
Like, how many more does he need before we get Crazy Kenny?
you're right. Well, he tried. He thought about it for half a second
He
here
did
coming up.
try.
He tried, but then
But
he felt
back at
bad.
the Yeah, well, but then he got sad again because Boyd told him things.
I thought you were talking about, like, with, Sarah in previous
That's what
episodes,
I
but
Oh,
was
yes,
talking
yeah, that's
about.
true. Oh, yeah, no, he did try there too, but he did feel bad there. But he tries again later in this episode a little bit.
you're right. Yep.
Uh, But back at the house, Julie's sitting on the couch when Jim comes in. She's pissed. She's so mad. And she comments like, "Oh, you're back. And, did you hear Tien Chen's dead?" And he tries to go to her, and she tells him Ethan's upstairs. And he tries to talk to her. She's just not having it.
Rightfully so, I think.
Yeah. He tells her whatever she's feeling right now is okay. The look she gives that man is rough. Like,
If looks
this is
could
Pure
not
kill.
hatred, Jim. It's pure hatred. That's how she's feeling.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too is like this is not teenage petulance or anything like that. This is not a tantrum of a teenager. This is like she's right. She's right in these feelings. And she says like it's not. What is wrong with him? Ethan almost died too. He should have been here. Like it can't be like before. She can't be the fill-in parent when he loses his shit. Jim's like, "Well, I was looking for your mother." And Julie tells him, like, "Mom is gone. She went through a tree and now she's gone." And Jim's like, "Well, we don't know that." And Julie's exasperated with him and she's like, "People can't survive more than a few hours at night and she's been gone for 4 days. When Thomas died, you and Mom fell apart and there was no one there for Ethan. I was 15 and I can't do it again. Not this time." And she tells Jim, "Get your shit together." And then she leaves. I was like, "Get it, girl." I And it's so true. Like and I mean, look, I don't have a kid. I haven't lost a kid. I don't know kind of the grieving process that people are going to go through. I'm sure it's going to be devastating. But she's right that she probably did have to be this fill-in parent. And this is not the first time that she sat there and thought, I'm going to have to raise Ethan. Because when her mom fell in a damn hole and her dad got crushed by a damn house, she's sitting in the diner going, well, my parents are dead and I'm going to have to raise Ethan now. And that's not
Yeah.
fair
Ugh.
to put on, what, a 16-year-old?
Yeah.
So,
I'm so proud of her for explicitly stating this because he needed to hear it. Jim has had his head stuck somewhere. I don't know where. He's just being
We know
stupid this
where.
whole freaking show. I wasn't gonna say it, beans. But yes. Yeah. So I think good for her for sticking up for herself and for Ethan. Like
yeah,
they both need their parents there. And like no kid should ever be forced to be a parent to their siblings.
right. So, yeah, no, good on her. That was excellent job, Julie. You're growing on me too.
She took the long way around, but she basically said, "Shut up, Jim."
She put a few more words in there, but yes, absolutely.
She took the long way around. "Shut up, Jim."
So, back in the real world, Tabitha is eating, and Henry tells her about his wife. Um, before she disappeared, she started hearing voices, children calling out to her. They were locked in a tower, calling out to be saved. The only person he ever told was the detective on their case, and that guy died 20 years ago. So, after she's done eating, he takes her up to the kids' room and yeah, he left it the same as when they disappeared. Their disappearance broke him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He yeah, he says like I didn't care that everyone thought I did it. All I could think about was the last words I said was clean your room or no TV. Then he went to work and he came home and they were gone. And Tabitha asks, like, why is he showing her this? And he doesn't know how she knows about the kids or got the lunchbox or faked the articles. So the only thing he can come up with is she's telling the truth and his son is alive. And he begs her, like, he straight up begs her to tell him, like, if this isn't real, like, tell me. And she says, she believes the reason she's sent there was to find him. And he says, actually, no. The reason you were sent here is to see what's in the basement.
What's in the basement?
So back in Demonland, Christy heads to the church, and Jade is sitting there with Tian Chen. He didn't want her to be alone. And Christy looks at the body, and Jade goes to leave, but Christy tells him, Kenny's request to fix her. She doesn't know how. And Jade says he'll help. He used to play dress up a lot as a kid, so they get to work on cleaning her up. Which that was really sweet. I mean, just of Jade like not wanting to leave her and yeah.
I
Mm.
think I
We know
made the
Jade is a
joke.
teddy bear on the inside.
I think I made the joke Jade accidentally becoming the backbone of the whole city or the town.
Right?
He's not the, hero we asked for, but he is the hero we needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and but I mean, he's always like they've had a really good relationship. He and Tian Chen.
Yeah.
He had been adopted.
That's his pseudo mom.
So, yeah, it was tough. So, back at Colony House, Fatima and Ellis are walking back, and Ellis is hoping that Mary's medicine will help get some food to stay in her. And, she tells him, like, hey, go see your dad. He's had a really rough day. All I got to go do is go back in the house and lay in bed. Go see your dad. So Ellis takes off, and Fatima gets up to the porch. And something stops her, but she kind of goes over to see what's going on. And the lady who was rude to her the other episode is there. And they're sorting like the spoiled food. And she tells them, oh, yeah, we're going to compost it to see if, we can help the soil. And the girl apologizes to her and, says, yeah, sorry, things were rough, but it's no reason to be a dick. And so everybody else kind of leaves and nobody else is around. And Fatima starts sniffing the rotten food
Ugh.
Oh my god.
and she grabs a piece.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, even, like, earlier this episode, we were joking about how it was gonna be, like, a Breaking Dawn situation where she just needed, like, raw meat and everything would be okay, and this is so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah. She grabs up a piece and she takes a bite. And
Blech.
it's delicious. Seems to
Ugh.
hit the spot. So, because she grabs several and she starts going down on this rotten food. Well, she hasn't eaten in 4 days, eaten and kept anything down. So if you can keep something down, like have at it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Them pregnant people
I
Pregnancy
eat
don't
the
know
same
about
cravings.
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh,
Yeah. These did not look good to me at all.
no,
I'm
no.
usually down to try anything, but I would not try that.
Yeah, no, Fatima, this is not okay. We'll see. We'll see what comes of this. Oof. So inside, Donna is breaking down the cow, and Ethan walks in looking for Victor, and he asks her about the cow. He says, I've never seen what things look like on the inside before. Is this what Tian Chen looked like after what they did to her?
Ugh.
Oh,
What a question. I was like, is this the beginning of him turning into one of those serial killers?
yeah,
Because what kind of a question is that?
this
Is
was
this
rough.
Ethan's villain arc?
Yeah, he's full trauma at this moment. Like, that's the thing is so many people in this town right now are just like, well, we have trauma responses and they're not great. And Donna's like, no, sweetie. um, and then he talks about the snow and how it looks so different outside, and he thinks that Tian Chen would have liked that. And Donna starts to say something, okay, well, let's go, and we'll go do. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go home. He cuts her off. Like, just full trauma mode, this child. And she calls to him and she tells him, "Hey, Tian Chen loved you." And he's like, "I know." And then he walks off. Like, yeah, okay. The adults don't handle trauma well. I mean, you can't expect the kids to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this the part, like, when he left and we were like, is he actually gonna go home or is he just wandering? Like, is he off to do something else and he needs some supervision?
Right. Yeah, why is the child walking around on his own? Where the fuck is Jim? Jim, you're
Jim?
home. Get your
He's too
shit
busy
together.
arguing with Julie about making her a surrogate parent to Ethan.
Jim, you're going to need to get your shit together. Uh, So Christy and Jade are working on Tian Chen when Sarah comes in with a dress. And she tells them that, when times were slow at the diner, they used to go to storage and try on dresses. This is the dress Tian Chen said she would wear when they went home. Christy thanks her and she leaves. Well, another good moment for Sarah. Like, this was a really sweet thing.
Oh, that hurt my heart.
Yeah. So at the bar, Kenny is filling up jugs of alcohol. So this is another attempt at a villain arc.
Someone said, like, that's a bit too much for one person.
Yeah, well, Boyd tells him. Boyd's like, "That's a heavy pour." um, Boyd comes in and he's like, "What are you doing?" And Kenny says he is about to do what he's gonna do. That's it. And yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to listen. And Boyd's like, "What are the battles for?" And Kenny tells him, "Hey, I'm going to those tunnels, and I'm gonna find them, and I'm gonna burn all of them." And Boyd asks, "Do you think it'll work?" And Kenny tells him, "Well, we burnt the last one, but it was already dead, right? So, like, it might not work." And Kenny's like, "I don't care. I'm gonna make those things hurt." Boyd says, "Okay, let's do it." And they head to the tunnel entrance. And Boyd starts setting up the string so that they can find their way back. I love that we're learning. And they don't know how far in the creatures are because Jade didn't see them when he went down there. So they aren't even sure if they're still down there or, if they're further back or what. And Boyd says, "This is how they want us, angry and struggling around in the dark." He says if they find them, they probably aren't coming back. And but if this is what he wants to do, then Boyd will go with him side by side and take out as many as they can. And Kenny says, "Yeah, I can't stop thinking about how scared and alone my mom was. How much she must have felt that." And Boyd tells him she wasn't alone. They made him watch. He couldn't help her. And Kenny just starts breaking down. As you should. Um
Mhm.
and Boyd, yeah, that's ugh. And Boyd tells him, she was strong. She was brave. She never took her eyes off of me. And before she died, she said this thing in Cantonese that I am not going to butcher. Um, and Kenny starts crying harder, and he tells him it means take care of him. He's alone now. Boyd holds him and tells him they should go back. So Christy and Jade finish getting Tian Chen ready. Christy isn't sure it's good enough. She asks Jade about the makeup. He says he thinks if she puts on any more, Tian Chen might sit up and slap the lipstick out of her hand. And she says, "I just want to do it right for Kenny." And Jade reassures her it's right. And he touches her shoulder and says, he touches, so Jade touches Tian Chen's shoulder and says, "You'll come with us when we go." Which is the same thing that he told her about her husband and his grandmother. And it was really sweet. And I'm not crying, you're crying. Uh,
Uh, yeah.
So at that point, Kenny and Boyd come into the church, and Kenny goes to the back to see her, and he sits down with her and he strokes her hair. So outside, Sarah's sitting on the steps, and everyone is headed to the church for the funeral. Julie comes up to her and thanks her for saving them last night. And she also says that because of what happened to her, Julie says this, like the bugs and all this stuff, she feels like this place is in her head and she's scared of it. She doesn't want to hurt anyone. She's basically like, "I don't want to end up like you, Sarah." And Sarah says like, "I wouldn't either." And she tells her like, "Look, you can come talk to me anytime you want." And Julie thanks her and walks off. Like it's a rough scene. It's kind of like, damn, but it's also like, I mean, Sarah gets it. Sarah
Yeah.
understands
Yeah.
cuz she's like, "I didn't want any of this either." So I get it and I understand that, like, yes, no, it's I don't want you to end up like me either. So back in the real world, Henry is showing Tabitha the basement. He tells her that he and Miranda were old hippies. But they gave it up when she got pregnant with Victor. But on his 35th birthday, they decided to take a stroll down memory lane. They got some acid, they took the kids over to her parents, and took one last trip. And after that, she started hearing the voices and seeing things. And she painted everything she saw. We see paintings of the faraway tree, the kids, the bottle tree, the talismans, and then some things that we haven't seen yet. And Henry continues on that she felt like she had been chosen. She felt like it was a place that was everywhere, but you couldn't find it if you tried. A place you could stumble into from anywhere, but never find a way to leave. At this point, we get him talking over scenes of Tian Chen's funeral. And he said that Miranda said there were, I know, this is a rough one again, said there were people there who were lost and afraid, living inside a nightmare, fighting a battle they knew they couldn't win, holding on to hope. And when that hope is gone, they held on to each other. And at this point, Ethan takes Tien Chen's blanket and he goes and he puts it over her. And Henry continues to say that of all the people who would find their way to this place, she was chosen to free the children. But she wasn't the first. Others were chosen before her, and she could see them. They had all failed to set the children free and go home. So if Tabitha's hearing the children, she's chosen too. How did she get out? So at this point we go back to town, and after the funeral, Boyd is walking and Ellis comes up to check on him, and Boyd is not doing good. Again, he's doing those like 1,000-mile stairs, and Ellis is trying to like give him a pep talk. Everybody loves a pep talk in this town.
It's all they
And
have.
yeah, Boyd is over that business. And he says, "We can't keep sitting around and waiting. We need more information." And he asks us to help him catch a monster. So we're gonna catch
Finally,
yeah,
let's go.
we're gonna catch one of these things.
Where's Chris
So
Hansen when you
at
need
this
him?
point,
Oh God.
people are walking back, and Jim, Ethan, and Julie are walking, and Ethan asks, like, are we still gonna live here? Because it's Tien Chen and Kenny's house. Like, are we still like Tien Chen said we could stay? Can we still live here? And Jim says they'll take it one step at a time. And Julie keeps walking, and he's like, "Where are you going?" She says, "I'm gonna go check on the animals." And Ethan goes, "Oh, I will too." And Jim should have gone with them,
Father of the year.
but he tells them, "Be careful," and heads into the house. He's in the
Again,
kitchen
if my
when the
kids were going
phone
there,
rings.
I'm telling you, if my
Oh
kids
yeah,
were going to the barn, I guess I'm going to the barn too. Enough trauma has happened there in the last 24 hours. I guess I'm going to the barn to check on the animals too. I don't care how cold or tired I am.
Well, and he also said it's almost dark, so like, let's not let's not tempt fate.
what
Right.
else you gotta do, Jim? What else you gotta do in this moment than be a good parent? Ooh, mad at Jim. So he had to separate so he could get some creepy stuff. So he heads into the house and he's in the kitchen when the phone rings, which we've never heard that phone ring other than in a dream. And he picks it up and the voice says, "Dad, it's Thomas." And that's the end of the episode.
Mm. Mm-mm.
Sounds legit.
Mm-mm.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, well, Jim gets all the voices talking to him through the things, man.
How'd they do that, Jim?
Ah,
Yeah.
right. Make it math, my friend. Yeah. So we've now recapped the saddest episode of the entire show so far to date. Um, yeah. I'm gonna go cry in a pillow. Uh blow my nose. Because as you can tell, I did cry a little bit during that recap. I thought I was gonna be okay. I was not.
No, it was such a tough episode. I don't blame you at all because even watching it one time I was like, this is it's a lot and Kenny's actor deserves all the awards for just this one episode must
Yeah.
stand alone.
Absolutely. No, the acting is so good, and, like, anybody who says different can fight me. Cause like, he's
Legit.
so good.
I'll
Ah,
join you in that fight because yeah, I'll defend him. He did
so,
amazingly.
I'll throw
I
hands.
guess we will all defend Kenny. He needs someone to. Uh,
Good God,
so
yeah, he
where do
does.
you think we go from here? What do you think
Well,
is
I think they're gonna try to figure out some sort of operation with the food that they found at that creepy little village thing.
creepy
'Cause
cabins in the wood?
like, it seems too far away to have people go there and back without staying there,
Mhm.
maybe? So, like, I feel like they're gonna try to make, a like, a checkpoint kinda place where they can spend the night, get food, come back, and something horrible is gonna happen with those effigies. Um Tabby's gotta find a way back somehow, right? And we gotta see those things that she saw in those paintings that we haven't seen. Like, we saw, like, a guy in a yellow suit?
Yep.
Mhm.
So the
Like,
who
the
dat?
2 faces next to each other. I don't know what that
Yeah,
was. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff down there. We
yeah.
saw we
Horrifying. That's what
saw a
that
full,
was.
a Baphomet. There was a painting of a Baphomet.
I miss that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, he's kind of in the background, but I spotted him this time. I didn't see him the last time I watched, but I was like, "Ooh, there is a Baphomet back there. Okay." Um, yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff that she saw that we have not seen. So that's scary.
So,
Um,
uh, do you think that Victor's dad will come back with her?
we shall see.
If she comes back, I just assume she's coming back. She's coming back, right? I
I
feel like they're just
feel
gonna go on a little road trip across the country until they see a tree.
now here's the deal. Now let me ask you this. Now, if you had gone through this, would you ever get back in a car again? If you went to Demon Land and you got out of Demon Land, would you
If
ever
my
go back in a car again?
if my kids and husband are still there, yeah.
Yeah. But if
If
you are
not, if everybody came out, no.
right.
Absolutely not. Hell no.
Oh my
Buses?
god.
No.
If we all found our way home, like if we had all like succeeded in this, I would be agoraphobic like crazy. Like you ain't
Well,
getting me out of this
absolutely.
house.
I'd be like, this explains so much about like why people don't want to leave their homes. Cause like I'm scared of this shit too. I'm not going out there. No
Yeah.
way.
Well, and I think at this point, I think you're right. Like Tabby's focus now is how do I use the information I've gained to get back to then help people get home. Like
But
that's
also, what information has she gained? Does she need to get more information before she goes back?
yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I would be up there studying all those pictures, trying looking for clues, looking for connections. I'd be Jade. Where are the connections? Where are the corner pieces of this puzzle?
I hope for Jade, she gets some sort of like tablet or phone, takes pictures of every painting, brings a charger, and sets that up.
That would be yeah, that would be smart. But a charger you can't plug it in, I don't think. But still,
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Takes pictures, prints them out, puts them in some sort of book,
get a
brings it to Jade.
Polaroid, man. Get a Polaroid, get those pictures, get a little picture book. Love it. Nope, that would be a great idea.
Or fill up a van with all the pictures and some food, everyone's favorites, get some canned peaches for Victor,
Right? You got to
and
bring
then
him them
drive that
back.
around until you find a tree.
He gave you his lunchbox. You have to bring peaches back for Victor.
Yeah, bring him a snack. She
Yeah.
better bring peaches for him or I'll be very upset.
I will say one thing that this episode did confirm for me is like, well, I don't know if it's a true confirmation, but that it's cyclic. Victor's mom was chosen last,
Yeah.
now she's
Mhm.
chosen. That fact from my theory has been solidified. She was chosen by these kids to come save them. So there is something cyclic happening. What? I don't know, but I see
And
the
was
pattern is almost reinforced itself with Tabby and, kinda with Jade. I don't really know what's going on with him and what happened to that Christopher guy, but if the pattern's repeating for one, it's
Yeah.
probably repeating for multiple.
Yeah.
And there's also the question of was there someone in between Victor's mom and Tabby that we just don't know about?
Right, 'cause the dad
Because like,
says
that was what?
she saw
True.
the others, and are there ones in
Yeah, the
between
other
them 2?
chosen.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And yeah, I don't think Jade is well, he might be because he saw the kids at the end of the
Mhm.
last
He
season, so
he
maybe
is
he's a
he is seeing visions, right? So maybe.
yeah. And, like, specifically, he saw the kids
Mhm.
at the end. But also I do think that it might be one I mean, no idea about anything. My brain is not good enough for all of this, but it does seem like there are different roles being filled by people like Jade originally had the visions of the symbol and like pretty much only the symbol or like little things that had to do with it. And then Tabby had her things with the kids and Ethan and Victor had like the little boy in white. So like it seemed like everyone had visions about specific things that were separate but somehow connected. And now it's kind of all melding together, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the connections are being made,
Yeah. People are talking to each other for once.
Oh
right?
my god.
Maybe that's all they needed to do. And suddenly it's like, oh, you have visions of this? Oh, that connects with what I'm having visions of. Oh, okay. So now you're seeing what I was seeing too. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very much so. So like I think that that Tabitha is learning some things here that she will definitely be able to bring back and help build that. But yeah, whether how Well, and that's too now, like, is she gonna start maybe seeing more things now that she has more of this information? Is she going to start seeing some of these visions of Miranda or the other chosen people
Yeah.
that'll help fill in some of the gaps for her? She needs to take a hit of acid and then,
Right.
like,
I
free her
Do
mind.
drugs. That's
when
the lesson
when
of
they
this
said
of
they
the
took acid,
episode.
I was like, she should do that.
That's the lesson
Do
of the
drugs.
episode. Do drugs, kids.
Jade could help her out
Don't
with
do
that.
drugs, kids.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It is Jade. Jade is the one you need to go talk to, Lauren. You are so right.
He's done
I
all
would
the
love to see an
drugs.
episode where Tabby yes. I would love to see an episode where Tabby and Jade just do some acid.
Yeah. Oh god.
That's what she needs to make sure is in the van. Peaches for Victor, acid for Jade.
Yeah. So we will see where the next the rest of the season takes us. But I can confirm we have made it through the saddest part. Everything from here were just rainbows and sunshine for sure.
Oh, I'm
Good.
sure.
Okay.
I can't promise you that, but I can tell you that I don't cry near as much in the rest of the season as I did in that one episode. Uh,
If there's anything super sad in season 4, I'm like, you told me we were through the worst of it. You lied to me.
only the first 3 seasons. I can only vouch
Nope,
for the
you
first
said
three
this was the
seasons.
saddest it gets. That's it.
Oh, well, let's go watch the next episode. Thank you all for listening to me sniffle and cry a little bit. And thank you for listening to I Found a Weird Show. And we can't wait to continue recapping next time. Bye.
Bye.